537,000 vehicles. That is the official count for the 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in 2025. Biggest turnout in a decade. Tax revenue up 13%. The Sturgis Motorcycle Museum called it their best season ever. By every number you can measure, Sturgis is thriving. But talk to any rider who's been going for 20 or 30 years, and they will tell you the same thing. Sturgis is dead. Both things are true. How a rally can be bigger than ever, and at the same time be a hollow shell of what it used to be, that is the real story. Pappy Hoel's love of racing started the whole thing in 1938. He and the Jack Pine Gypsies Motorcycle Club hosted a small rally and race outside of Sturgis, South Dakota. 19 riders showed up. 9 spectators watched from the side of the road. That was it. A tiny event in a tiny town in the Black Hills, built on 2 things: motorcycles and freedom. That original DNA carried the rally for decades. Through the wild biker culture of the 60s and the 70s, through the Hells Angels era, through the boozy chaos of the 80s. Sturgis was a pilgrimage. You rode there, you got dirty, you probably did some things you wouldn't tell your mother about, and you came home with stories that lasted a lifetime. Then in 1991, the city of Sturgis privatized rally operations through a company called Sturgis Races and Rally Incorporated. At the time, it seemed like a smart business move: more money, more organization, more growth. But that decision was a warning sign the community ignored. And that brings us to the Sturgis of today. The numbers paint one picture. In 2023, attendance dipped to around 458,000, and the headlines screamed decline. Then 2024 came in at roughly 471,000. Solid, but still below the 5-year average. So when 2025 exploded past 537,000 vehicles, organizers were celebrating. Vendor licenses climbed to over 800. International interest hit record levels before a single concert was even announced. If you only look at the spreadsheet, Sturgis is healthier than it has been in years. That is not a typo, by the way. Record numbers, record revenue. But here is where the spreadsheet lies to you. Walk down Main Street in Sturgis today, and you will see something that would make Pappy Hoel do a double take. Khaki shorts, tennis shoes, families pushing strollers past rows of chrome baggers. Nobody rode there. RVs the size of studio apartments, with bike trailers hitched to the back. In 2022, 38% of rally attendees towed their motorcycles to Sturgis instead of riding them there. That is up from 26% just 7 years earlier. Nearly 4 out of 10 people at a motorcycle rally did not ride their motorcycle to get there. Longtime vendors have watched the transformation up close. One family that has been selling at Sturgis since 1982 remembers when the rally was all black t-shirts and bikes that dripped oil on the pavement. Now they see tourists who do not even ride, and those longtime vendors are getting squeezed out. City vending licenses now run anywhere from $560 for a small booth up to $1,500 for a large setup, and that is before you add sales tax bonds, mobile merchandising permits, and private venue fees that can push total costs well past $2,000. Independent sellers who built their businesses around the rally for decades simply cannot afford to come back. The police chief and local bar owners openly call the rally mellower now. Fewer burnouts on Main Street, fewer topless women, and a lot more families in matching rally t-shirts. The wildness that defined Sturgis for half a century has been sanitized for a broader audience, and the old guard feels it in their bones. The 2020 rally cracked the culture wide open. While the rest of the country locked down, roughly 462,000 people showed up to Sturgis with no mask mandates and no restrictions. A study out of San Diego State estimated the rally contributed to over 250,000 COVID cases, though that number was later disputed by researchers at Johns Hopkins, who called the methodology weak. The actual confirmed case count was far lower, but the damage was done. Sturgis went from being America's motorcycle pilgrimage to a political lightning rod overnight. Some riders loved the defiance, others never came back. The 2024 rally added another layer to this identity crisis. Social media influencer Robbie Starbuck launched a campaign criticizing Harley-Davidson as going woke, and riders at Sturgis picked up the message. Attendees reported that Harley's official headquarters tent felt noticeably quieter than previous years. Whether that was a real boycott or just noise, the perception alone sent shockwaves through a culture that used to be defined by freedom from politics, not by it. If you are wondering how that is even possible at a motorcycle rally, so is everyone else. Now zoom out from Sturgis itself and look at the company that built this entire culture. Harley-Davidson is in serious trouble. Not the kind of trouble where a bad quarter spooks investors. The kind of trouble where the foundation is cracking. Global Harley retail sales fell about 12% in 2025. That came on top of a 7% decline in 2024, with fourth quarter sales cratering 15%. North American sales in 2025 landed around 89,000 units, down 13% year over year. First quarter 2025 revenue dropped 23%. Tariffs on international production have not helped, but the core problem is simpler than trade policy. Fewer people want what Harley is selling. Harley's North American dealer network has shrunk by roughly 100 locations during the past 5 years, dropping from around 700 to just over 600. Iconic shops that operated for decades, places like Dudley Perkins in San Francisco after 110 years, are just gone. And in a move that tells you everything about where the company is headed, the board replaced the CEO with a guy from Topgolf, not another motorcycle executive, a guy from a golf entertainment company. Meanwhile, Kawasaki surged past Harley-Davidson in the United States in unit sales for most of 2025, with Honda holding on to the top spot by fewer than 1,000 bikes. Harley, the brand most associated with American motorcycle culture, fell to third place in its own backyard. Pappy Hoel is rolling in his grave. This matters for Sturgis because as recently as 2021, 82% of rally attendees rode Harleys. By 2022, that number had dropped to 66% according to the official rally survey. Indian doubled its share. Honda and Yamaha grew. The Harley monopoly on Sturgis is cracking in real time. And if Harley becomes a luxury collector brand for wealthy retirees, then Sturgis becomes less of a biker rally and more of a rolling car show for guys who trailer their $54,000 CVO road glides to South Dakota once a year. So who replaces the aging Harley riders? That is the part of this story that should worry Sturgis organizers more than anything else. Motorcycle ridership among those under 18 sits at just 2%. The 18 to 24 age group accounts for only 6%. When researchers looked at what Generation Z actually wants in a motorcycle, they found the opposite of everything Sturgis represents. They want lightweight bikes under 500 pounds. They want retro modern models like the Honda Rebel 500 or the Yamaha XSR 900. Urban-friendly machines that are affordable and customizable. Big chrome baggers with 7-year loans at double-digit interest rates are not on their wish list. And the younger riders who are building the next generation of motorcycle culture are showing up to different rallies entirely. Born Free in California is all about choppers and custom builds. Mama Tried in Milwaukee is an invitational builders show. Babes Ride Out has seen explosive growth as an all-women's rally. Even a tiny event like Hewlett's Ham and Jam, which happens during Sturgis Week just across the Wyoming border, gets praised by veteran riders specifically because it is not commercialized. The new motorcycle culture is forming. It is just forming somewhere else. If you have been enjoying this breakdown, hit subscribe. We cover motorcycle culture and the stories behind the rides every week. So the 85th Sturgis Rally posted record numbers, but Harley is bleeding, the average attendee is over 50, and the younger generation is building their own scene. Where does that leave us? Here is the honest take. Sturgis. The event is not going anywhere. There is too much money, too much infrastructure, and too many tourism dollars flowing into the Black Hills economy. The music festival pivot is working. Organizers are adding women's events, beginner rider training, and broader entertainment lineups. The Black Hills riding itself, Spearfish Canyon, Needles Highway, Iron Mountain Road, remains some of the best motorcycling on the planet. People will keep coming for that alone. But Sturgis the Biker Pilgrimage, The thing that made a generation of riders save up all year and ride 2,000 miles through heat and rain just to be part of something raw and real, that version of Sturgis is gone. It died somewhere between 1991 and 2015, depending on who you ask. What replaced it is a Black Hills tourism brand with motorcycles included. That is not the same thing. The rally is alive. The body is bigger than ever. But if you are looking for the soul, you might have better luck at a backyard chopper meet in your buddy's garage than on Main Street in Sturgis. Drop the year of your first Sturgis trip in the comments. Or if you have never been, tell us whether this video changed your mind about going.